Kansas City.
It's time for the Midwest Ford Dealers Chiefs Kingdom Show. Live with play-by-play voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holthus. It's brought to you by your Midwest Ford dealers. Visit Ford at yourMidwestFordDealers.com. You're listening to exclusive coverage of Chiefs football. Now, here's the voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holthus.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome to this Midwest Ford Dealers Chiefs Kingdom edition, live from Jazz Louisiana Kitchen. We're at the original Jazz at 39th and State Line. The best Cajun food in the Chiefs Kingdom, and a great way to celebrate the Chiefs being 5-0. Your Chiefs are undefeated, ladies and gentlemen. And it is fabulous to see such a great crowd here at Jazz Louisiana Kitchen. A sold-out crowd here, and some of our regulars, of course, the Metcalf Bank geeks are here with their special suite that's been built here at Jazz Louisiana Kitchen. And it's not just any night for the folks at Metcalf Bank. Big Randy's here, and Big Randy is the East Jackson County Market President. Just saying. When you're undefeated, the big dogs come to the show. Okay? It's like a Lakers game. You never know who's going to show up. The Redcoaters are here, of course. Leading the way. The Geeks are here. Snowstorm Sandy, the Queen of Hearts. Reed's Redheads leading the Queen of Hearts. Yes, one of the subsidiaries of the Geeks, the Wolverines, in the consolidation. Also, we have got Autograph Geek is with us tonight. Also with us this evening is Sling Blade Geek. Weird Wolf is here tonight. Arrowman's hat is here. In spirit, Arrowman's Titans hat is here tonight. Also, we got a lot of rookies here this evening. Now, 5-0 brings out the rookies. Lisa and Omar here. Also, Cindy Lou Who, their friends. They all work at the University of Kansas Medical Center, which is right across the street because we're at the 39th and State Line location for the Jazz Louisiana Kitchen here on our Midwest Ford Dealers Chiefs Kingdom show. Also, Susie Bling Bling is here. Kent the Cake Packer is here. A lot of them went to the game at Tennessee. We had so many fans there at LP Field. I think we had as many fans there as the Titans did, and it was outstanding to hear Home of the Chiefs at the beginning, and then also to hear the tomahawk chop at the end of the game. Casey Chef is here, and he's got a gigantic posse over here in the corner. X Factor's here. The Red Hots are well represented this evening. And, of course, the Lake Lotawana Lake Rats, Big Daddy Lake Rat, the Princess Lake Rat here, along with Froman, and I hope I get everybody mentioned. All right. As is tradition in the Chiefs Kingdom, we have the Book of Sealed Signatures, signed by hundreds of fans. And an archaeological dig found this, signed by hundreds of fans when it was darkest in the kingdom. It will be opened when the Chiefs win a postseason game, and that is going to be a fabulous night. In just a few minutes, we will be joined live by Andy Reid at One Arrowhead Drive from his office. If there is one characteristic about this 5-0 start, it is the fact that the Kansas City Chiefs have won 5 consecutive fourth quarters. That is the sign of a tough team, a team that believes in each other, and a team that is well conditioned. To beat the Titans yesterday, 26-17, to outscore 5 opponents in the first 5 weeks of the season in the fourth quarter, 47-17, that's a sign of put the hammer down, baby. You've got it. That's one of our Kingdom traditions. Now, this week is a special week, as you know, because we have some special visitors coming to Arrowhead Sunday. It's Raiders Week, just in case you need to be reminded. Also, the Chiefs are going to try to set a Guinness Book of World Record for the loudest stadium ever. The previous record is held by the Seattle Seahawks. Boo. That record supposedly is 136.6 decibels. That's going down on Sunday. Just saying. And later in the show, we will have a special guest because the executive producer of the Chiefs Radio Network and a CEO of Short Circuit Electronics, Dan Israel, otherwise known as Spartacus, is a sound expert. And he's going to talk about all the dynamics of this Sunday and trying to break that record. Anyway, it is fantastic to have you all here tonight. When we come back, we will have your head coach, Big Red the Redhead. Reed's Redheads is here tonight. We'll be back with Andy Reid from Jazz here on the Chiefs Fox Football Radio Network.
Sports fan. Fitzpatrick throws down the middle. The pass is going to be intercepted off a deflection. Demps picks it off at the 50-45 downfield block, and Demps is out of bounds. Ryan Fitzpatrick, the knock on him has been critical turnovers at critical times. Tipped by Brandon Flowers and picked by Quentin Demps.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And picking Ryan Fitzpatrick twice in the fourth quarter. Those plays were huge. Welcome back to our Midwest Ford Dealers Chiefs Kingdom show. We are live from Louisiana, a Jazz Louisiana kitchen. Some of the greatest Cajun food you'll find in the country, and for sure in the Chiefs Kingdom. We're at the location at 39th and State Line, just across from the University of Kansas Medical Center. Tonight they have 2 pounds of hot-boiled crawfish served with 2 pints of selected beers on special. Chiefs go to 5-0. Only one of 3 undefeated teams left among the 32 in the National Football League. Our on-site producer is Drake. He has an app on his phone that has decibels that measures the sound in here tonight. As I introduce our next guest, we'll see what we can do on this decibel meter, because let me tell you something. Yesterday, when the Chiefs beat the Tennessee Titans 26-17, it was the last team in the NFL that Andy Reid had not beaten. He's beaten every team in the league. All right. And we are pegging the meter right here tonight at Jazz Louisiana Kitchen. Love that app, by the way. Now, would you welcome, live from One Arrowhead Drive, the head coach of your Kansas City Chiefs, Andy Reid.
You're too kind, I'll tell you. Way too kind. I appreciate it.
No, you're way too kind. Thanks for coming here. I think I'm glad. You join me in that? Yeah. And a 5-0 start has been fantastic. And congratulations on your milestone. That speaks a lot about your consistent winning in this league and being a head coach now for 15 years. I want to ask you first and foremost about these fourth quarters. When I watch the game tape, it is very impressive because it's been clear, Andy, your team has been the toughest, best-conditioned team now for 5 consecutive fourth quarters. If you would, could you comment on that?
Well, to say that the guys are resilient, that's to say just a little. I mean, they're the character and the intestinal fortitude that these guys have is amazing. So I'm proud of them for that. They work very hard to be able to put together these fourth quarters like that. For you and I to maintain any red hair that we have left, we need to do it a little sooner, though. We need to crank this thing up and get a few more points on the board so those fourth quarters aren't quite so crazy. But we're going to keep working on that.
Well, you got your own group here, Reed's Redheads, and they also...
Hey, when you feed Redheads Cajun food, you better watch out.
Heightened security.
And I heard the Jazz as the absolute best. So you're in a good place.
I know you're getting ready to work on the Raiders game plan, but we do have 2 pounds of hot-boiled crawfish for you here, or some jambalaya, just in case you want a study break.
Well, I appreciate you telling me that. I'm here, you're there. I got it. I see how it works.
I'll eat for 2 tonight. We'll just leave it at that. Let me ask you about your defense. Statistically now, leading the National Football League in points allowed, sacks, red zone defense, goal-to-go defense. But your fourth down stand, one thing is to hold a team 4th and goal at the 1. Tennessee had first down and goal to go at the 1. You stopped them 4 times at the 1-yard line. What about that goal line stand?
Well, I'm proud of those guys. There's a certain mentality that you have to have when you're down in there, and we always talk about it. Listen, if you're lucky enough to get down there at the 1 against us, we're coming after you, and that's what the guys did. And Bob Sutton leads the charge with that. He's doing a great job as the defense coordinator of the Chiefs, and then those guys that are out there playing are just tenacious. If you watch Poe and Jackson, DeVito on those plays right there and the push that they got, it was incredible.
And Derek Johnson, saw him on tape, plug right in the gap to kind of finish things off. It was very, very impressive to get that done. Then to flip over quickly then to offense, you got the ball at your own 4-inch line. I'm looking at it binoculars going, there's only a few blades of grass between that ball and a safety. You heave it long and get a 44-yard pass play. What about the decision to go for it, to send it down the field deep from your own territory?
Well, it's a good place to do it from. You can get some pretty big gains. So biggest gains on the field you get from there. We talk about certain mentality when you're backed up, and that's part of it. You've got to also be able to run the ball well down there. You also have to be able to throw it, and you have to be able to be in the mindset to stay aggressive in either case.
Well, and I'm going to ask you, because I watch tape, is it just your offensive line seems to be improving week by week? I know I asked you a lot about it last week, but you were in minimum protection a lot yesterday. How much is this offensive line coming together? And a lot of those guys have been fighting through some injuries.
Well, they have. That's a tough spot to play, and they have fought through some injuries, Mitch. They're doing a good job. They're gelling together. We rotate in practice, which you've seen. We rotate 7 guys in there, so there's always a couple guys. If somebody goes down, we got another guy ready to go, and they all had a chance to play the other day yesterday, and they all, I thought, did a good job.
I know I'm flipping back and forth here, but I want to go back to your defensive backs because tonight, and again, Justin Houston had some special work to do tonight. We'll have him later on. So we got Marcus Cooper here tonight, the rookie out of Rutgers, who had the recovery in the end zone on the muff punt yesterday by the Titans. That set the tone for the day, and then he also had the interception in the fourth quarter. But your defensive backs, Andy, I want to ask him as a group. These guys remind me of like a special forces unit in the way that they seem to work together and how their games seem to complement each other. What about the advancement of these guys, particularly in your like sub packages, and how much they've grown?
Well, they have. I mean, we've got guys that have some experience. We have some younger guys, like Coop's one of them. I mean, he's a young guy that stepped up and done a heck of a job for us and gives us flexibility. You saw us move Brandon Flowers inside yesterday. Well, to be able to do that, that's Coop. That's a tribute to him and the job that he's doing on the outside and the trust that Bob and Emmett now have in him and the job that he's done. So the guys they're coming together, just like you mentioned on the offensive line. The secondary's coming together. They're making plays. There's great communication back there to see Lou come out and play. I mean, to have 23 on the field is very important for us. He keeps it all together back there, and he's a big part of that. So you need that communicator. You need 4, 5, at times 6 guys all playing together.
He's been called the Alex Smith of the defense, talking about Kendrick Lewis. What does that tell you about him, though, and the way he prepares and taking responsibility beyond himself?
Well, yeah, no, he does. I mean, he spends a lot of time at it, and there's a lot of effort that goes into him being kind of the quarterback back there. At the same time, you remember he was banged up. He's got an ankle that hasn't been right, and he's fought through that. And it's tribute to his toughness. I mean, this kid is in his will to be out there and want to make sure that everything's right on that defense.
Well, let me ask you this, too. I know offensively there's some stuff. Actually, in all phases. I mean, you can't continue to say, hey, there's just work to do in all 3 phases. I want to ask you yesterday about those first quarter penalties. Kind of derailed a drive there. There's a couple special teams penalties. What about getting that cleaned up of what you saw on tape?
Well, you know as well as I do. I mean, you can't do that. We had 13 plays in that first drive, and about 2 or 3 of them we were going backwards, and you can't do that. I mean, that's a mess. And so we've got to make sure we stay focused, and in particular on the road, but even at home. I mean, you got to do the same thing. There's got to be a massive focus right there to make sure that you don't give anything to the opponent, and in particular yards there.
And you got some chunk plays again yesterday. I mentioned the one where you shoot it from your own end zone, but you get another 40-plus yard play. But I got to ask you about the third downs. That's the one that jumps off the page when I looked at it on tape. What about the third down situation and cleaning that up for the Raiders this week?
Yeah, Mitch, I mean, you get 1 out of, anywhere, you can count them, but anywhere 1 out of 12, 1 out of 14, however you look at it, you get one first down off a third down play, and that's a problem. You've got to fix that, and so that's my responsibility, make sure I put these guys in the right position and get their job done, and then they're going to work like crazy to do the right thing. So it's a joint effort that gets all that taken care of, and we go back to the drawing board and clean that up. The week before we had been real good at. This week we weren't so good. So, it's a tribute to our opponent, Tennessee. But at the same time, we've got to make sure that our A game is right. You can't have that long yardage third down play. Your percentages are going to go way down, and we've got to make sure that we're a little more productive on first and second down. And again, I'm giving praise to their defense. That's a good defensive unit, but we're better than what we were yesterday.
That's a really good Tennessee front seven, man. I'm impressed with those guys. All right, for the crowd here again at Jazz Louisiana Kitchen, come out and join us if you're in the neighborhood at 39th and State Line, just across the University of Kansas Medical Center. It's our Midwest Ford Dealers Chiefs Kingdom show. It is tradition. Andy just talked about his team winning the fourth quarter 5 straight times. It'll be time this week again to put the hammer down. Love that fourth quarter hammer, Andy. But I've also got to tell you, because these fans, as soon as I walked in the door tonight, they reminded me it's not just any other week. It's Raiders week. Okay.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, baby.
What about the rivalry? Now, I want to ask you, did you grow up kind of watching the AFL? You grew up in L.A. Oakland was up the road then, but what about these old AFL rivalries and your thought about the history of them?
Well, listen, I know the history. I mean, I'm very well aware of it. I look forward to being a part of this thing, man. It's an awesome rivalry. There's nothing better than a rivalry. And to be able to take the black and gold and bring them into Arrowhead amongst the crazies, I mean, you got to love that now. They think their group's crazy. Wait till they meet our group, and that's exciting to me.
Well, we're going to let Andy get to work and game plan against these guys, but just to let Andy give him a little bit of encouragement, give him a big cheer, ladies and gentlemen, as he goes back to work at One Arrowhead Drive. Coach, thank you so very much. Congratulations.
I appreciate it. There better not be a crawdad standing by the end of the fourth quarter here.
We're knocking them down, man, one by one. There is no crawdad safe. Andy Reid, head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs. We come back. The Chiefs are going to try to set a Guinness Book of World Record this Sunday. Andy talked about that stadium needing to explode with the Raiders coming in. Before we talk with Marcus Cooper, we will have a sound expert with us when we come back. This is the Midwest Ford Dealers Chiefs Kingdom Show, live at Jazz Louisiana Kitchen, 39th and State Line, just across from the University of Kansas Medical Center. We'll be back after this. You're listening to exclusive coverage of Chiefs football.
Play 1st and 10 for the Chiefs on 36. They're throwing long. Avery comes back to the ball and catches it in front of the left corner. Jason McCourty at the Tennessee 20-yard line. The Chiefs go deep on 1st down.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is our Midwest Ford Dealers Chiefs Kingdom Show. We are live At Jazz Louisiana Kitchen, 39th and State Line, just across from the University of Kansas Medical Center. They got a special tonight, 2 pounds of hot-boiled crawfish served with 2 pints of selected beers. That's what I'm talking about. And again, it's not just any week, it's Raiders week as the Chiefs try to go to 6-0. Also, everybody in the kingdom needs to know this is the Sunday. The Guinness Book of World Records will be there to gauge to see if the Chiefs in Arrowhead Stadium can set a record. Before we get to our special player guest tonight, I want to introduce to you, and we got to pay attention to this guy because he's really smart. Dan Israel is our executive producer of the Chiefs Radio Network. He also owns one of the top companies in Kansas City called Short Circuit Electronics. Danny is a sound expert. He's also known as Spartacus. He's that big of a dude. Spartacus, are you with me?
I am, Mitch. Good evening.
Good
Kingdom,
evening,
how are you?
Kingdom, give him a cheer. It's Spartacus. Okay, let's go now. Let's just to verify. The record is again what and by whom?
The record is 136.6 decibels, which is a sound pressure level measurement, and it was set last month by Seattle. They actually set, Mitch, 2 records in that game. The first one was on a Marshawn Lynch run of about a 131, but then later in that game, the second half, they set it again. So they beat the Italian soccer stadium record early in the first half, and then set the record that exists now in the second half of that game against the 49ers.
Okay, 136.6 is the equivalent of what?
Well, it's loud. It's about the sound of a jet engine from maybe 100 yards away. I don't think many of us have probably even been that close to a jet engine, but if you've been near a plane as it's taking off or landing with full engine roar, it gives you an idea of just what we're talking about.
Okay, that's what we've got to do this Sunday. And the University of Kansas Medical Center has an audiology unit, I think. It's on the 6th floor. I'm not just kidding.
They may be very busy on Monday.
They might be. All right, now, before we let you go tonight, Dan, again, Dan Israel is with us tonight on the Kingdom before we introduce Marcus Cooper to you. But Dan's our sound expert. What has to happen? Is there even a possibility of doing this? What's the loudest you've heard Arrowhead or measured Arrowhead? And if the Chiefs are going to pull this off, the Chiefs crowd, what has to happen? Well,
I talked with Zach Aaron a few hours ago just about where we're at now. Right now, they're sitting at about 125. So I don't think this record's out of reach, but I think 2 things are going to happen, Mitch. The first is everybody in that stadium, and it might help to visualize what has to occur here if you picture light. If you want to make a really bright light, you need a bulb that is extremely bright. So every fan in the stadium has to be extremely loud, as humanly possible as they can get. They need to be loud. The second way you make something bright is to add a lot of those bright light bulbs together. So the second thing that has to occur, we have to have every seat in that stadium has to have a body in it, and everybody needs to be rooting for the Kansas City Chiefs, and that includes those club-level seats. I know it's tempting to go back and grab yourself a hot dog and watch it on the big screen, but they have to be out there shouting.
Is there a time they've designated to do this, or is it just going to be throughout the day?
To my knowledge, and I should have confirmed this with Zach earlier, but to my knowledge, they'll record the entire game. So at any given moment, that could occur. And just as it did in Seattle, we could set several records past that. But, if you take into account, if you take into account that the Arrowhead Stadium itself seats 10,000 people more than CenturyLink, this is not out of the realm of possibility. It's just going to take every seat in that stadium screaming as loud as they can for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Dan, thank you so very much. Let's just practice real quick for Dan as he goes into the night. Thank you, Dan.
You bet, Mitch.
All right. Well, we get a chance to cheer again because I've got a very special guest with us tonight. I know Justin Houston was to be here. He's got to do some extra work tonight, and we'll have him with us in a couple of weeks. But it allows us and me to introduce to all of you one of the magnificent Waiver 7. San Francisco was not smart enough to keep him. We were smart enough to take him. He had an interception against the Titans. He recovered the muff punt in the end zone. Smart enough to knock the Titan guy out of the way and recover. Ladies and gentlemen, rookie Marcus Cooper. Marcus Cooper, otherwise known as Coop, okay? And he has made some big big plays. Those plays were huge. Coop, welcome to the Chiefs Kingdom.
Thanks, man. I appreciate being here.
Did you have any idea you're going to be walking into this tonight?
Oh, definitely not. It's a wonderful atmosphere. I love it.
All right, let's go talk about yesterday a little bit, and let's talk first about the muff punt. Walk us through that play, and how'd you get there and jump on the ball and get a touchdown, Kansas City?
Oh, it's definitely a team effort. Colquitt hit a good ball for us, and one of my teammates, Gray, pushed one of the opponents into the ball, and I seen that. So once they hit him, I knew it was an opportunity for me to get on the ball, and I just took it. So was it instinctive on your part, or were you thinking, man, this is kind of a once in 100 and something chance? Something that we always talk about. You always try to be around the ball, always go 100% to the ball, so you never know what's going to happen. So there's something that just clicked for me. I seen the ball and just went after it.
Well, that was fantastic. And just so you know, that was the kind of play right here. Because on that play, it was time to put the hammer down, baby. Not many rookies have touched the hammer. I'm just saying. Okay? You keep making plays like that, you can touch it, but not, still a rookie. All right, now, let's go to the interception that you had. Because that play was huge. Talk about the interception Nate Washington and Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Oh, it's just have to attribute that to film study, when watching things with our coaches. They pointed out that when these guys get into a certain formation, they like to do certain things. So, I just seen that formation, and I just had to jump on it, and seen the ball there, I just went after it.
So you knew this was coming based on how they lined up?
Yes, definitely.
Oh, I love that when it's preparation. How much? And I've admired this guy ever since he was a rookie and sat in this chair because he also, as a rookie, got to touch the hammer. And it's Brandon Flowers.
Right.
One of the toughest humans I've ever been around other than Jamal Charles.
Definitely.
How much has B-Dot helped you?
Oh, he's been invaluable. He's coached me every step of the way. Ever since I got here, he's been a great help to me. And I can't thank him enough for that. He's shared his wisdom with me, and I just continue to learn from every day I practice.
Well, you can learn some toughness from that dude as well. Now, you playing outside. He gets to slide inside like yesterday. What does that do for you guys defensively?
Oh, it just gives us a solid group up there. Him with his wisdom and things of that nature, he can go inside and make some great plays in there. And me outside, I can match up with the big receivers and get my hands on them. So it just gives us some versatility out there and allows us to do what we can do.
Okay, let's back up. This league, as we all know, because a lot of you have been fans of this team for a long, long time. This league can be so very tough at times. Let's go back to the cut to 53. You were on a talented San Francisco team. Just so you know, Coop was here at Arrowhead Stadium playing against us in the preseason. I got you down on my charts and everything here. San Francisco comes to you and said, Coop, it's not going to work. Walk through that with us. And then the phone call coming from John Dorsey.
Well, it was definitely a hard thing to hear, that you didn't make it out for the 53. Anybody's going to take that hard. So, I definitely felt a little upset about that and a little down on myself. But, got the call that said I was going to be a Chief, and that just snapped me right out of it. I was happy. I was ecstatic. It was a blessing for me.
You wouldn't have had all this, man. I'm just telling you. I've been to San Francisco. 49ers ain't like this. You're at a place, and you picked the right time to be here because this place is on fire right now.
Exactly.
What about playing in that stadium? Because you've been there twice now in the regular season.
Right.
And now you go walk into Raiders week. What about playing in Arrowhead?
Oh, it's amazing. I love the fans. You guys are out there loud as ever. It's hard to hear my guy right there next to me on the field. So it's definitely an advantage for us that we try to use that, try to get the crowd involved, and we're going to come out there and attack the Raiders this week.
The present is bright. The future is bright because of a man like this. When we come back, all of this DB stuff is kind of new to Coop, and we'll talk about that when we come back. Again, this isn't any other week. It's Raiders Week, and we'll be back with Marcus Cooper after this. We're at Jazz Louisiana Kitchen on the Midwest Ford Dealers Chiefs Kingdom Show. Back after this on the Chiefs Fox Football Radio Network.
Bounces inside the 20. Now the ball's kicked. The ball is live inside the 5. It's loose in the end zone. Kansas City's got it. Touchdown! Kansas City! A fumbled punt by the Tennessee Titans and recovered in the end zone.
Recovered by our guest tonight, rookie Marcus Cooper, cornerback out of Rutgers. Welcome back to our Chiefs Kingdom Show, Midwest Ford Dealers Chiefs Kingdom Show. Again, we're at Jazz Louisiana Kitchen at 39th and State Line, just across from University of Kansas Medical Center. In case you want to join us, there are 2 pounds of hot-boiled crawfish waiting for you, served with 2 pints of selected beers on special. For others, stuff, you can check out their website at jazzkitchen.com. Their jambalaya here is huge. And the Chiefs, by the way, just checking, they are 5-0. Yesterday, to win on the road in this 5-0 start, that's 3 road wins. And the Titans, defending their turf, digging their heels in, took a 17-13 lead. And that crowd got into it. A lot of folks were here tonight that were at the game. But the Chiefs showed that resolve again. When it matters the most, they make plays when it matters the most. And here's our Time Warner Cable turning point play of the game.
Handoff, Charles trying the left side, probing, he's got it, touchdown, Kansas City, the Chiefs blow open the left side, and Charles probes and finds the end zone. The first offensive touchdown of the game comes at 6:23 to go in the game.
And Anthony Sherman, the human fire hydrant, made the key block on a cut block, opening up that for Jamal Charles. Just as practice, so in Coop now, Marcus Cooper's our guest tonight, ladies and gentlemen, rookie. Just so you know, and we got the sign here to practice, when you get a touchdown, it's not any touchdown, it's touchdown, Kansas City. Okay?
Gotcha.
All right. Let's talk about this interesting career of Marcus Cooper, because you went to Rutgers, but you were not recruited as a defensive back.
Right.
What happened, and how did you start your career at Rutgers?
I started off as a receiver. Just given an opportunity to play with guys like Kenny Britt and Taekwon Underwood. And freshman year, I got a little bit of playing time. But I got redshirted sophomore year. Got to play a little bit. Got to play with some good guys. Muhammad Sanoos and those guys. But I guess things didn't work out on the receiver end. So I got a call from coach, and he said he wanted to throw me to the defensive side of the ball and see how I liked it there. So.
And your coach at Rutgers was?
Greg Schiano.
Schiano, who's now at Tampa Bay as their head coach.
Right.
But let's get into this, and I apologize to you because I should have mentioned during the play-by-play yesterday. Kenny Britt plays for the Tennessee Titans.
Right, definitely.
Now, was he a senior when you were a freshman?
He's a junior while I was a freshman.
Okay. How much chatter was going on? Was he looking at you like, Coop, you're on defense? What's this all about?
Got to guard him a few times. That's somebody I looked up to at Rutgers. Just somebody I wanted to emulate. So just going against him was great. It was a little chatter between us, but it was a great atmosphere.
And did you get to say scoreboard after the game? How was the post-game chat? Let's put it that way.
I actually did get to see him. I ran into Jason McCourty, who's also there at Rutgers with me, but they were both happy for me. They expressed that to me, and I'm just happy that I was able to be out there with those guys.
Well, it's got to be a whirlwind for you. So let's take it first. When the whirlwind that you've been when you went from receiver to defensive back, how much of adjustment was it? Did you catch on to this right away, or?
Oh no, it's still a work in progress. I'm still working on that now. That's something that I played for 16 years of my life as a receiver, and then just in a week you have to switch over to defense. It's a big adjustment, but it's still a work in progress. I'm still working on it, just trying to get better at it every day, and I'm gonna continue to take that approach.
Well, we're glad you made the switch. We're glad San Francisco waived you. Sorry about all that. I know you had a little anxiety there, but it was God looking out for you because he brought you here to all of this and all of us. Now, let's talk about what you did last week, because the rookies, you got your own class now. You're really part of this draft class, yes. Okay? You Magnificent Seven dudes. Not all rookies, but you are. And I don't know, is McGrath? He's not a rookie. He said doesn't count. How about Duck Dynasty? That guy, that dude's crazy.
It's great. I'm glad I came in with him. You know, he's definitely a great guy. He's definitely a great football player as well, and just a great person to be around.
You ever thought about going the beard out?
I tried. I don't know if mine's get that long.
Okay. Last week, you guys did something with the rookie club because you went to North Kansas City at the Y. Now, walk us through that and how you were able to interact with kids.
Oh, it was a great experience for me. You know, did the play 60 with some kids out there, and you know, just to see the smiles that we put on their faces, just to go through and you know, do these exercises with them, and just to give them opportunity to be around us. You know, it was a great thing. You know, I can't speak enough on it.
These kids look out. I mean, is this sunk in yet? You're playing corner. You're starting now in the National Football League. Is this when's this going to hit for real?
I don't know. It's a blessing, and I'm just happy to be here. I'm just gonna continue to just express my gratitude in the game about the way I play.
Well, it's not only any week, right? It's Raiders week. And when we come back, we're going to close the show and talk about some of these wide receivers for the Raiders who I'm kind of impressed with.
All right.
So it's time to chat about the Raiders when we come back. Again, we're Jazz Louisiana Kitchen. Marcus Cooper, our special guest, one of the Magnificent Seven, who has helped this team go to 5-0. We'll be back to close out the show after this. You're listening to exclusive coverage of Chiefs football.
Fourth and 10. Shotgun to Fitzpatrick. This ball sails on him, but he's got a receiver on the right side. Now pulled away by Cooper. Cooper yanks it away from the defender. Are they going to rule this a Chiefs interception? Cooper, they're going to say interception by Marcus Cooper, and that ball floated.
Yeah, and it was intercepted. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our Midwest Ford Dealers Chiefs Kingdom show as we're live at Louisiana Kitchen. We love it when we get special guests that come to the show, and a couple rookies here tonight. We got Hudson and Jude Bailey here. They're in Brookside here with their mom and dad and their little, is that a sister you got or little brother? Little brother. We got 3 boys in the family. All right, it's a big week this week, Jude. So for the Chiefs, it's time to put the hammer down. That's what I'm talking about. And with Marcus Cooper here tonight. All right, guys, thanks. Needed your help. Good job. And again, it's not just any week. It's Raiders week. Good wide receivers for the Raiders, and they're going to come in with some confidence. They beat San Diego last night. What about bringing in the Raiders? Now, when you were in San Francisco, you're in camp with the Niners. Did you keep an eye on them?
We really didn't focus on them too much. Unfortunately, we didn't get to play them this year, so that's something that wasn't on our minds.
So you did you play them in the preseason? Or
No, I didn't.
I know usually kind of they do that, but what about though coming together as a defense, and where do you grow from here? You personally and your DBs as a defense moving forward.
It's so much growth to me personally here. Just the valuable experience I get every time I step out on the field. That's just going to continue to help me out in the long run. And our defense, especially the DBs, are just gelling together so much better. And starting to find out each other's what we do good, what we need to struggle with, and just work with that and to become a better, more cohesive defense.
I want to ask you about your coaches. The first one is Emmett Thomas. He is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame as a Kansas City Chief. He won a Super Bowl as a Kansas City Chief. What about being coached by Emmett Thomas?
Emmett Thomas is a great guy. He has so much wisdom that I can't express how valuable it is to me. Just to be in the same room with him is just an amazing thing. You get the opportunity to be with a Hall of Famer, and be coached by Hall of Famers. It's a great feeling.
And you've got Al Harris.
Yeah.
And Al's former Packer, former Buccaneer, played at Texas A&M, Kingsville. But how different are those two guys? It's like I said, it's like Star Wars. I know I'm dating here, but you got this Yoda guy, and then you got Luke Skywalker coaching you. I mean,
Al has no idea that I was a big fan of his at Green Bay. So it was great to have somebody like that who loves the game. Who comes out and coaches you, demands so much from you, and just take me under his wing. I can't be happy enough for those two guys to be my coach right now.
Now I know we're excited to have you here, but do you ever get mistaken for the rhythm and blues artist Marcus Cooper?
No, I haven't yet.
You know what's going to happen? He's going to start getting mistaken for you.
That sounds good.
And he's going to have to put out some kind of new album called, Coop, and put the hammer down or something. There's going to have to be some kind of...
That sounds good.
It is awesome to have you here, first and foremost.
Thanks.
And when we picked you and those other 6 guys up on that Sunday, it was crazy.
Yeah.
But to see you guys grow and immediately be accepted and develop and help this team, wouldn't be 5-0 without you. So it's great to have you.
Appreciate it. Thanks, man.
And just so you're ready to go, now you saw Jude do it. Coop, it's the Raiders coming to town. Try to go 6-0 and try to break that decibel record, Guinness Book of World Record. It's time to put the hammer down. You got it. Marcus Cooper, our guest tonight here at Jazz Louisiana Kitchen. We will celebrate being 6-0. Again, I got to say it because it's stuck in my craw. The Chiefs have not beaten the Raiders at Arrowhead Stadium since November the 19th, 2006. It's got to go away. It's got to go away this week. Next week, we will be at Gaslight Grill in Overland Park, 135th. Actually, it's in Leawood, 135th Street-ish. And Dontari Poe will be our guest next week, bringing in some more of that defense. A big thanks to Marcus Cooper for being our guest tonight. Also, thanks to Dan Israel for coming in and explaining all the sound record that's going to be broken. Also, thanks to Andy Reid. Ladies and gentlemen, you are the best fans of the National Football League. The Chiefs are 5-0, soon to be 6-0. Thanks for joining us tonight on the Chiefs Kingdom on the Chiefs Fox Football Radio Network.
Touchdown, Kansas City!
You've been listening to Chiefs Kingdom, brought to you by your Midwest Ford dealers. Visit them at yourmidwestforddealers.com. You're listening to exclusive coverage of Chiefs football.